Hello and welcome to the Lupus Forum Daily Highlights for ACR 2025. My name is Ed Vitale. I'm a professor in translational medicine at the University of Leeds, as well as chair of the Lupus Forum Steering Committee. I'm delighted to be here in Chicago to bring you ongoing coverage of the lupus content during the Congress. Every morning, we're going to be posting these daily highlights covering my chair's picks for the day across our social media channels to keep you up to date. So if you follow at Lupus Forum on X and LinkedIn, you can get those updates on all our activities here at ACR in Chicago. So Sunday morning, we've got an important session, the ACR guidelines session. So this is an update to the ACR guidelines, though the new guidelines are far more granular than previous guidelines. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting discussion in that session on those details. There's a poster session where Vibeke Strand is going to be highlighting the impact of clinically important improvements in patient-reported outcomes in patients with SLE treated with upadacitinib or placebo. And Melanie Hayden-Gethart will be presenting some data on an autologous CD19 CAR-T therapy study, the Castle study from Erlangen that we've had an update from before. It's a basket study with lots of different diseases. And then we'll have Paula Vadala presenting results from belimumab-based triple therapy in proliferative lupus nephritis showing renal outcomes and glucocorticoid tapering. Complementing that one, Yanis Parodis is going to be looking at improvements in fatigue and musculoskeletal pain with belimumab, highlighting this multidimensional benefit beyond organ involvement. That theme on the CAR-Ts we're going to see quite a bit at this conference. So the Castle update, they essentially have pretty much everyone is in drug-free remission, but it's interesting that things may be a little bit mixed as we see them emerging in other studies, and also the way that the different technologies vary, like allogeneic cells or combined CD19 and BCMA and T-cell engagers. So moving on, there are some posters looking at remission and low disease activity. There's my fellow steering committee member, Eric Morand, is going to be presenting data on achieving sustained remission and low disease activity with dapirolizumab pegol in SLE, and Brad Rovin will be evaluating the steroid-sparing effects of obinutuzumab from a phase 3 trial. And Fang Shi will be showcasing a study showing lower dose belimumab to prevent disease flares while maintaining safety. And Marta Mosca will be talking about the efficacy of upadacitinib in the phase 2 SLEEK trial. It's interesting to see these outcomes that we check in these trials are evolving over time. We're no longer interested in just seeing response. We want sustained remission without steroids. There's another poster session later in that day, poster session C, where Eric Morand once more will be there presenting 3-year data about ianalumab in a post-hoc analysis, and we'll also be discussing data on enpatoran, that's an oral dual TLR7/8 inhibitor in another post-hoc analysis from a phase 2 study. So again, what's interesting in the world of lupus trials is the variety of these mechanisms of action. These drugs are completely different, one targeting B cells, one targeting innate immunity via TLR7, and exactly what that means in practice. And finally, there's a Meet the Professor session where Brad Rovin is going to be discussing challenging features in the diagnosis and management of lupus and how to overcome them, and also how to develop timely, individualized, evidence-based treatment plans for patients with difficult to treat rheumatic diseases. So always important to remember that the best outcomes in lupus don't just rely on getting new medicines. We have to think about the way we apply them and use them in the clinic. So those are just some of my picks for day one of ACR. The full list of abstracts that we recommend is in the highlights brochure. That's at lupus-forum.com/congress. Or you can come and see us at stand 2102, where you can pick up a printed copy. I hope you enjoy these picks for today, I look forward to seeing you around the Congress. I'll be back tomorrow with some more selections of the key lupus content from ACR 2025.